All right, so now that we've discussed what CBRNE is, the types of PPE required, and some of the basic steps in decontamination, let's dive into some specifics. This is not going to be an all-encompassing list of chemicals you can run into, nor is this a super detailed list of what each chemical is. We're going to cover a few types of chemicals and biological contaminants that are either commonly seen or historically relevant or even just interesting. First up, let's talk about the chemical incidents. Often these incidents are accidental, due to a leak or from accidental mixing or burning of chemicals. Chemicals can be absorbed, ingested, inhaled, or injected, though in the emergency situation, we're mostly going to be worried about inhaled meds. Let's start by talking about chlorine gas. It's a nasty substance that reacts with water to form hypochlorous and hydrochloric acid. Both are highly irritating to mucous membranes and pulmonary tissues, so exposure will often begin with redness in the eyes and mouth, coughing, and dyspnea, but can quickly progress to ARDS and airway swelling. Historically used in times of war as a weapon, it can also accidentally be made when bleach is mixed with ammonia, so in swimming pools or during household cleaning. It has a very strong smell and is easily detectable. Next is a gas you can't detect as easily, hydrogen sulfide or H2S. A common gas used in the oil and mining industries, it's also called swamp gas or sewer gas. It's highly flammable, colorless, and has an initial smell of rotten eggs or like sewage. H2S damages the cell's ability to metabolize oxygen and glucose, putting them in an anaerobic metabolism state. One of the most dangerous parts of H2S is that it often desensitizes the olfactory nerve. So after that initial smell, it becomes undetectable. As the concentrations rise, patients will quickly become altered, unresponsive, and apneic with very little warning. There have been loads of case studies of multiple people succumbing to H2S as rescuers collapse trying to save their coworkers. Carbon monoxide is a truly undetectable gas, and unfortunately this is one you're more likely to come across in your EMS career. CO gas is a byproduct of combustion, either from burning wood, plastics, or from petroleum. It's odorless, tasteless, and deadly. Carbon monoxide has a higher affinity to hemoglobin than oxygen, so what happens is as we inhale the gas, carbon monoxide sits on the red blood cells and it just doesn't want to leave. The tricky part about this is that the patient will likely have good color, possibly even flushed or cherry red skin, though that's a really late sign, and have great SpO2. The problem is the tissues are becoming hypoxic. Treatment is fresh air and 100% O2 regardless of the saturation. This is most commonly seen in suicide attempts or by accident when a patient starts a car or their generator in a poorly ventilated area like a garage. The last thing I want to talk about are some biological agents. This is not something we would commonly see in the emergency setting, and if we do, it's likely related to terrorism. Two examples historically would be the Black Plague and anthrax. In both cases, bacteria is collected and then distributed in a part of the population, and then it's allowed to spread, and in these cases it was done maliciously. Anthrax was a big scare in the early 2000s when white powder containing the bacteria was placed in letters and sent through the US Postal Service. 5 people died and 17 more were infected with the deadly disease. In the case of the plague, in medieval times all the way to Victorian England, infected rats were released into castles and cities and then allowed to decimate the population, thus allowing the armies just to move in after the disease had run its course. Now both of these cases are pretty far removed from modern memory, but let's try something a little closer to home. The COVID-19 pandemic was one giant CBRNE emergency. Managing cases, contact tracing, and preventing cross-contamination and infection were all huge issues in the global pandemic. Paramedics were at the forefront of the response efforts and will continue to be there in the future.